Why do we give football teams rebuilding years, but not ourselves? Have you ever thought about that? I have been a lot lately. When a new coach takes over a team, we don't expect to win the championship next year. It's a rebuilding year, a chance to reassess, to pause, to get rid of old systems that are no longer working and discover new ones that might. It's a season of reinvention, and it's met with hope and very little demands. What if 2021 was a rebuilding year? I think it is, for me, and maybe you too. When dozens of my public speaking gigs got canceled this year, I had two options. Number one, tailspin. Number two, rebuild. Now, I definitely spent a few weeks, months doing that first option. But eventually I had to roll up my sleeves, dust off the dirt, and look out over a new horizon. I had to deliberately say to myself, it's time to do new things. It's time to do hard things. It's time to do brave things. And so I have. One example, which is almost a little embarrassing because it's such a small thing, is my brand new logo. I've had a company for 7 years and I've never had a logo. Why not? I think I was afraid it would make it too official. I didn't know if I was ready to admit I'm a CEO, in the same way that lots of people are afraid to admit I'm a writer. Right now, some of you are nodding your head. Some of you have a really hard time admitting you're a runner or an artist or a real photographer or a real writer. But I can't wait to feel brave enough to do challenging things. Bravery is a choice, not a feeling. So I'm choosing it. I'm a CEO. And today I'm announcing something new that I think is going to help you do a lot of brave things in 2021 too. Watch this trailer. 92% of all New Year's resolutions fail. 92%. Why do so many people fail at their New Year's resolutions? Why do so many companies have a hard time finishing their goals? Why do so many teams fail their goals? And I think part of the reason is we celebrate the wrong part of a goal. We say things like, well begun is half done. The hardest part of any journey is the first step. And that feels so good on a coffee cup or maybe a photo of a unicorn with a swirly font. That's not even a little true. The middle is the hardest part. We have launch parties, we have kickoff parties. I've never been to a middle party. Where do people cheer at marathons? At the beginning and at the finish line. The middle is hard and lonely. And so we start all these projects and then we stop them. And it has a cost. You remember incomplete goals more than you remember completed ones. The goals you don't finish don't disappear. They become these ghosts that haunt you. And see, here's the problem. A goal isn't just a goal. A goal is a promise. It's a promise you make to your team. It's a promise you make to your coworkers. It's a promise you make to your family. And ultimately, it's a promise you make to yourself. And every time you break one, it becomes harder to keep the next one. So I wanted to answer a question. Can you go from being a chronic starter to a consistent finisher? Are there steps? Are there principles? Are there things you and I can do to make sure we actually finish the things that matter in our lives? But I wanted to make sure that I had real research behind the answer. So I went to the University of Memphis and I commissioned a research study with a PhD there named Mike Peasley so that we could answer that question. What does it really take to become a finisher? Can somebody who's really good at starting but not good at finishing actually learn? And that's what we're going to talk about in this 6-part series. We're going to walk through step by step what it takes for you and your team to get across that finish line. It's time to rebuild. It's time to reinvest. It's time to reinvent. It's time to finish the goals that matter the most to us. I want to help you do that. If you're ready, or even just a tiny bit curious, check out finishcourse.com or the link in my description. It's at the lowest price it's ever been, and I don't want you to miss it. Let me know if you have any questions about the course or anything else in the comments. Remember, starting is fun, but the future belongs to finishers. I can't wait to see what goals you finish in 2021.